Hello, I'm Simon James Green, and I am the author of You're the One That I Want. Now, this is actually my fifth YA novel, my fifth young adult novel. My other books include Noah Can't Even, Noah Could Never, Alex in Wonderland, and Heartbreak Boys. But I like to describe You're the One That I Want as the cast of Sex Education put on a production of Grease meets Bridget Jones, if Bridget Jones was a gay teenage boy who couldn't actually be asked to keep a diary. But in this book, you will meet Freddie. Freddie is 16. He's just started year 12. And he's got round to thinking that his life is just completely unremarkable and that he's a boring person and that nothing ever really happens for him. So he makes this decision at the start of the book that he's going to start saying yes to everything, yes to every opportunity that comes along. And that's how he gets involved in the school production of Grease, and also how he ends up meeting hot new boy Zach. But Freddie has a lot to learn, and he soon discovers that the path to true love is never smooth, and sometimes you have to get things really wrong in order to find out who and what you really want. I wrote this book really because I think there's something that a lot of us feel a lot of the time, even if we don't necessarily always vocalise it and talk about it. And that is this idea that we're not quite enough as we are. You know, our lives are kind of quite boring and mundane compared to what we see, especially on social media, especially Instagram, where you can very easily get lost in this idea that everyone is attending fabulous celeb star-studded parties and premieres and wonderful holidays, living it up in Ibiza, and generally swanning around at fancy restaurants and really enjoying life. And, and there you are, sitting on your sofa, in your boxer shorts, eating a pot noodle, watching Netflix, and you think, where did I go so wrong? What happened to me? But this book really kind of explores that idea and asks, is that thing you're chasing, is it just a dream that doesn't really exist anyway? And at the end of the day, what is wrong with you as you actually are? Do you really need to change or improve yourself in any way? Now, I set this book in London, in southeast London. That's partly because it's where I live, and this is the first book I've actually set in the place that I currently live. So that was quite fun for me. But also, London is a really interesting city in that it's a place of really huge contrasts, and you can go from kind of staggering wealth and riches on one hand to really terrible poverty on the other. And that was really important to me in terms of the themes of this book and exploring this idea of how different people live their lives and how some people seem to have it all and some people seem to have very little or nothing. And so that's why I want to put the book in London, really. This idea of kind of the glamour sometimes of the West End and TV premieres and that kind of thing, contrasted to the very ordinary existence that Freddie has at secondary school, starting his A-levels, and doing all those things that are just kind of ordinary for him. So this is a book about school, it's about family, it's about friends, it is about people changing and moving on, but also the stuff that stays the same as well. And I hope this really kind of captures the whole sort of vibe of year 12, certainly as I remember it when I was in year 12. And this idea that there's so much going on, things are different, things are changing, people are working out who they want to be and what they want to do with their lives. And some of us have no idea, and it's all a complete mystery. And it's kind of exciting, but it's also disorientating as well, and sometimes it can be a little bit scary and worrying and anxiety-inducing too. So all of those things hopefully come into play in this book, as well as the fact that it's a funny book. I always write funny books. All my books are funny. I think laughter is a great thing and a really important thing. And I think especially after the last 18 months, 2 years we've all had, I'm talking about COVID, then I think we all need to laugh a little bit more. And hopefully this book does exactly that.